Good morning, student. Today we will learn about the next topic, blood clotting or coagulation of blood. What is blood clotting or coagulation of blood? It is the process of converting the liquid blood into a solid form. That means the conversion of the liquid blood into a solid form. This process is called as blood clotting. It is initiated by contact of blood with any foreign surface. That is called as intrinsic process, or with damaged tissue. That is called as extrinsic process. That means the coagulation of blood or clotting of blood is initiated. Initiated means what? A process or action caused to begin. This is called as initiated. This blood clotting is initiated by two processes. The first process is called as intrinsic process and second is called as extrinsic process. The intrinsic process, which is caused due to the contact of blood with any foreign surface, and in extrinsic process it can be initiated with damaged tissue. Intrinsic and extrinsic processes involve interaction of various substances called clotting factors by a stepwise or cascade mechanism. That means these two processes, which can be caused due to either contact of blood with foreign surface or with damaged tissue. These two processes involve interaction of various substances. In these two processes, the various substances are involved due to the interaction. These substances are called as clotting factors, which can be occurred by stepwise or cascade mechanism. Cascade mechanism, a series of chemical reactions that occur within a biological cell when initiated by a stimulus. This is called as cascade mechanism. Cascade means what? A sequence of successive activation reactions involving enzymes or hormones. A sequence of successive activation reactions involving enzymes or hormones. This is called cascade. For example, each enzyme activates the next until the final product, the fibrin or clot, is reached. Until the final product, that means the fibrin clot, is formed. Then this is, see this slide, this is the factors which are involved in the blood clotting, that in both processes, intrinsic process and extrinsic process. These 12 clotting factors, which can be numbered as 1 to 13. In this 1 to 13 factor, factor 6 is not in active use. See, in this slide, the factors are involved in blood clotting. Factor first, fibrinogen. Factor second, prothrombin. Third, thromboplastin. Fourth, calcium. Fifth, Labelle factor. Sixth, presence has not been proved. That means their presence has been not proved. Hence, this factor is not in use, this process. Factor 7, stable factor. Factor 8, anthemophilic factor, factor 9, Christmas factor, factor 10, start power factor, factor 11, plasma thromboplastin antecedent, factor 12, Hegman factor, and factor 13, fibrin stabilizing factor. All these 12 factors are involved in these two processes. Then the interaction of these factors in a cascade manner leads to formation of the enzyme thrombin. It can leads to formation of enzyme thrombin. That means the interaction of all these factors, in a cascade manner, it leads to formation of enzyme thrombin. That means in the clotting mechanism, 3 stages can be occurred. The mechanism of clotting, it can be occurs in 3 stages, namely the first step is formation of prothrombin activator. Second is called as conversion of prothrombin into thrombin, and third one is called as conversion of fibrinogen into fibrin. See here, this is the process of clotting, blood coagulation or clotting. That is, this is the clotting process. Here the fibrin or clot formation can take place, and in this clot formation or in this fibrin network, the blood cells, platelets, all these are trapped due to the clot formation, due to the fibrin network, which is called as mesh. This structure is called as mesh. Then the thromboplastin helps in the formation of enzyme prothrombinase. We can see in the next slide. This enzyme inactivates heparin. Thromboplastin helps in the formation of enzyme prothrombinase. This enzyme, that means the prothrombinase enzyme, inactivates heparin. Heparin is an anticoagulant substance. That means in the presence of heparin, the blood cannot be clot. Hence, this enzyme inactivates the heparin, and it also converts inactive prothrombin into its active thrombin. Then this enzyme can also converts inactive prothrombin into its active thrombin. Thrombin converts soluble blood protein fibrinogen into insoluble fibrin. That means the thrombin, which is formed due to the action of enzyme, this thrombin converts soluble blood protein fibrinogen into insoluble fibrin. Fibrin forms a mesh. Mesh means what? It is the material made up of a network of thread or wire. It is a material which is made up of a network of thread or wire. This is called as mesh. Fibrin forms a mesh in which platelets and other blood cells are trapped to form the clot. Here the mesh can be formed and the clot formation can be formed, and here the blood cells are trapped to the fibrin structure, and here the clot can be formed. Then this is the flow chart of blood clotting. That is two processes, intrinsic pathway and extrinsic pathway. Here The intrinsic pathway, it can be damaged due to the blood vessel. That means internally damage of blood vessels. It can be done by endothelial into the endothelial cells. Then here the extrinsic pathway, damage due to the tissue, damage to tissue outside the vessel, damage to tissue outside the vessel, that means externally. Then this is the tissue thromboplastin, that means here the inactive factors are involved, and tissue thromboplastin, it is formed, and this cascade of clotting factors can be included or involved in this process. That this inactive factor is activated, that means the factor 10, which is inactive form, it is activated, and prothrombin is formed in the presence of enzyme prothrombinase. Then the prothrombin can be converted into thrombin, and this thrombin, due to this thrombin factor, the soluble blood is converted into insoluble fibrin, that is fibrinogen, it is converted into fibrin, and finally the blood clot can be formed. Here in this video, the formation of blood clot can be takes place. Here the damaged part, that is the intrinsic pathway. Here the damage to blood vessels can be damaged, and the blood clotting factors can be involved cascade manner, and the blood clot can be formed due to the trapping of these blood cells. Here this process, the damaged blood vessels, that is the clotting factors are involved, prothrombin is converted into thrombin, fibrinogen, which is soluble form, it is converted due to the thrombin, it is converted into fibrin, that is insoluble form, that means the soluble blood which is converted into gel-like, that means insoluble form. Here the damaged blood vessels, this is the damaged blood vessels. Here the formation of platelet plug, the platelet plug formation can be takes place here, and finally the clot formation can be takes. This is the step first, vascular spasm, that is vasoconstrictions can be occur due to the smooth muscle contraction causing vasoconstrictions. That means the smooth muscles contractions can take place, and it can cause the vasoconstrictions. That means the blood vessels can be constricted, contractions can be takes place by smooth muscles, and these causing vasoconstrictions. Then here in step second, platelet plug formation, this is the collagen fibers. Injury to lining of vessel exposes collagen fibers, platelets adhere. This is the collagen fibers which can be exposes, platelets adheres. Then the platelets release chemicals that make nearby platelets sticky, platelet plug forms. That means here the platelets can release the chemicals. We can see the previous video, the platelets releases chemicals. These chemicals make nearby platelets sticky, and platelet plug can be formed. Here the platelet plug can be formed. And last step 3, the coagulation process can be formed, or blood clot can be formed. Here the fibrin forms a mesh, that means network, that traps red blood cells and platelets forming the clot. Here the fibrin, it can trap the red blood cells and platelets which can form the clots. Here the clotting process can be formed. Then the next topic, that is the heart. Heart, it is the main pumping organ of the circulatory system. The main pumping organ of the circulatory system is heart, which is reddish brown in color. It is a hollow muscular organ and its average weight is about, in males it is about 300 gram and in females it is about 250 grams. Heart is conical in shape and it lies in the space between two lungs, which is called as mediastinum. Mediastinum means what? It is an area found in the middle of the thoracic cavity. Mediastinum, it is the membranous partition. It is a membranous partition between two body cavities or between two parts of an organ, especially that between the lungs. The space between two lungs, it is called as mediastinum. Then heart is broader at upper end, which is called as base, and conical at lower end, which is called as apex. Conical end is slightly tilted to left side and raised above the diaphragm. Conical end, it is slightly tilted. Tilt mean what? Tilt mean cause to move into a sloping position. Cause to move in a sloping position. This is called as tilt. The conical end, that means the apex portion, it is tilted to left side and rest above the diaphragm. Heart is enclosed in membranous sac called pericardium, which is formed of two main layers. Heart is enclosed in membranous sac, which is called as pericardium, and this pericardium is formed of two main layers. The first layer is called as fibrous layer and second layer is called as serous layers. Here, see in this figure, the outer layer is called as fibrous pericardium. This is the outermost layer. This is the figure of which can show the layers of the heart. The outer layer, which is called as pericardium, the pericardium, the fibrous pericardium is present. That is the outer layer, which is called as fibrous pericardium. Inner layer is called serous pericardium. Inner layer, this is the inner layer, which is called as, see in this figure, the inner layer is called as serous pericardium. This serous pericardium is soft, moist and elastic, which is formed of squamous epithelium. Serous pericardium is further divided into or divisible into two layers. The first layer is called as parietal layer and visceral layer. This is called as parietal layer. See, this layer is called as parietal layer, which is also called as serous pericardium. And the second layer is called as visceral layer, that is, it is also serous pericardium, which is called as visceral layer, epicardium. Visceral layer, epicardium. Then these two layers, that is parietal layer and visceral layer. The parietal layer, see there the white color, it is the parietal layer, and see here the slightly reddish in color, it is the serous or visceral layer. These two layers are separated to each other by a space. This space is called as pericardial space. This space is called as pericardial space. This space is filled with pericardial fluid. Here, this black color portion, this space, it is filled with pericardial fluid, which is about 50 ml, which acts as a shock absorber and protects the heart from mechanical injury. It can act as shock absorber and protects the heart from mechanical injuries. It also keeps the heart moist and acts as lubricant. It also keeps the heart moist and acts as lubricants. Lubricants, a substance used for lubricating an engine or compound such as oil or grease. जसं आपण शिलाई मशीन असेल किंवा एखादं यंत्र असेल ते जर व्यवस्थित काम करत नसेल तर त्याला आपण ऑइलिंग करतो, ऑइल टाकतो किंवा ग्रीसने आपण त्याला ल्युब्रिकेट करतो किंवा ग्रीस टाकतो. तर अशा पद्धतीने इथं सुद्धा हे ग्रीसिंगचं किंवा ऑइलिंगचं काम जे असेल तर ते काम कोण करतं? पेरिकार्डियल फ्लुइड जे असेल ते पेरिकार्डियल फ्लुइड इथं करतं. देन द हार्ट वॉल. हार्ट इज मेसोडर्मल इन ओरिजिन. इन ह्युमन बीइंग the heart is mesodermal in origin. Its wall is formed of 3 layers. The heart wall, in case of human being, it is formed of 3 layers: outer epicardium, middle myocardium and inner endocardium. Outer epicardium, see here these 3 layers can be formed. This is the heart wall. The first layer is called as epicardium. Second layer is called as myocardium and middle layer is called as myocardium and inner layer is called as endocardium. Here the heart, this is the figure of heart. Here this heart wall, it consists of 3 layers or it is formed of 3 layers. The outermost layer is called as epicardium, which is thin and formed of a single layer of flat squamous epithelium resting on basement membrane, which is protective in function. This is the fibrous epicardium and this is the serous pericardium. Fibrous pericardium and serous pericardium, the outermost layer. Then the middle layer, which is called as myocardium. Middle layer is called as myocardium, which is thick layer. This is the myocardium. It is thick layer which is formed of cardiac muscles, which can be responsible for contraction and relaxation of heart. Then the innermost layer, which is called as endocardium. It is a single thin layer which is formed of squamous epithelium. It is also protective in function. Here the fibrous pericardium and serous pericardium. Serous pericardium, it is also divided into 2 parts. This is the innermost layer, is called as visceral pericardium and this is called as parietal pericardium, and these 2 layers are separated from each other by a space which is called as pericardial cavity, which is filled with pericardial fluid, and this fluid about 50 ml, near about 50 ml fluid can be present in the pericardial cavity. This is the pericardial cavity.